Good afternoon and welcome. This is Spotlight Africa and we're coming to you live from Uyo. My name is Uyai Imam. We head straight to Mali, where the former Prime Minister Shogo Omega is facing fresh legal scrutiny following allegations of financial misconduct during his time in office. The country's Office of the Auditor General has submitted documents to the judiciary. Scientists have confirmed the existence of what is now being referred to as the Shogo Omega files. According to information obtained by reporters, the Attorney General of Mali's Supreme Court spent the weekend reviewing the case, which could soon result in Mega being summoned for questioning. The investigation focuses on two key incidents. The first involves questionable expenditures related to the inauguration of a public project during Mega's tenure. The second concerns allegedly unjustified mission-related payments. At the center of the inquiry is the use of nearly 2 billion CFA francs, about 3.3 million US dollars, by the Prime Minister's office. A source close to the investigation stated that no one is above the law and emphasized the judiciary's commitment to uncovering the truth. At least 13 people have died in a ferry accident in Niger State, northern Nigeria. On Sunday, authorities have confirmed the incident involved a boat transporting 39 passengers and 50 bags of rice to the popular Zumba market, which capsized mid-journey. Nigeria's National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, said in a statement, on Monday. The agency added that among the 13 fatalities were 8 women, 3 men, and 2 children. The boat's driver and the remaining 25 passengers were rescued. Niger State has been a surge in bandits, gang violence in recent months, which has complicated rescue operations. Ibrahim Hussaini, an official of NEMA, told reporters. According to reports on Friday, troops of the Nigerian army killed 45 gang members in Shiroro, the municipality where Zumba Market is located. Dozens of people were killed on Sunday in an attack on a church in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, believed to have been carried out by Islamic State-backed rebels. Civil society leaders said suspected members of the Allied Democratic Force ADF stormed the building in the town of Komada, armed with machetes and guns. The attack took place as Catholic Christians attended an overnight prayer vigil at the church run by the Caritas charity. Several houses and shops were also burnt down, and the search continues for missing people. Dondoni Dorothabo, a civil society coordinator in Komada in Ituri province, said it was incredible that an attack like this could occur in a town where security officials were present. Justice Minister Osman Diagne has formally requested the probe in a letter to the Attorney General, aiming to shed light on years of political violence between 2021 and 2024. At least 80 people were killed and dozens more seriously injured in clashes with security forces or during skirmishes between civilians. The prosecutor of the Republic in Dakar, Ibrahim Andoyi, has been tasked with leading the investigation. His mandate: determine accountability and decide whether to pursue charges against civilians, law enforcement, or political leaders. Beyond the deaths, some citizens have reported being tortured during the unrest, raising further concerns about human rights violations. A controversial amnesty law passed in the final weeks of former President Macky Sall's term had initially derailed many hopes for justice. But legal experts argue that the most serious crimes, including torture and extrajudicial killings, cannot be covered by such a law. The first summons are expected soon, starting with victims of torture and the families of those killed, as Senegal begins to confront a dark and painful chapter in its recent history. Now, while the global hunger is showing signs of decline, a new United Nations report highlights a troubling trend in Africa where hunger continues to rise. According to reports, an estimated 512 million people worldwide will remain undernourished by the end of the decade, 60% of them in Africa. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres issued a stark warning during the African Union's Global Food Systems Summit held in Ethiopia. Speaking via video, Guterres cautioned that food must never be used as a weapon of war, as he joined other leaders in calling for urgent action to address the continent's deepening food crisis. The numbers are alarming. More than 280 million people are malnourished. African Union Commission Chairperson Mohamed Ali Youssef pointed to climate shocks, conflicts, and economic disruption as the key drivers of worsening food security. Leaders at the summit emphasized the need for stronger investment in agriculture, climate resilience, and efforts. The continent risks becoming home to half of the world's undernourished population within the next 5 years. Kidnappers in Nigeria paid for their release. In recent years, criminal gangs in the region, known in the country as bandits, have taken to kidnapping people as a means to raise money. In this incident, 56 people were taken from Bangar village, Koran Namada local government area in March. The gunmen then demanded a ransom of 100 million naira per captive. Local government chairman Maniru Haidara Kaura said that most of those killed were young people who were slaughtered like rams. Reports say 16 of those released on Saturday are in hospital receiving treatment, while the bodies of the 38 killed by the bandits are unlikely to be returned, as in these cases, corpses are rarely released. In a statement, the Zamfara state government condemned the killings, calling them barbaric and cowardly, and declared that such atrocities added to its resolve to wipe out terrorism from the state. Ghanaians are mourning one of the country's best-known singers, Charles Kojo Fosu, known as Daddy Lumba, who has died at the age of 60. A statement from the family of the legendary high-life artist said he died in hospital on Saturday after a short illness. According to the statement, Daddy Lumba, whose musical career spanned almost 4 decades, was a cultural icon, and his music touched countless lives. Kofi Ayokwe-Dako, Director of Diaspora Affairs at the Office of the President, described Daddy Lumba as the greatest from Ghana in the last 100 years. Daddy Lumba inspired many young Ghanaian musicians to pursue high-life music, a genre synonymous with the country. He is credited with 33 albums and more than 200 songs. His long career, touching on themes such as love, forgiveness, beauty, money, death, and other social themes. Meanwhile, President John Mahama paid tribute to him with a post on Facebook. We'll take a quick pause now, and when we return, we'll bring you the concluding parts on Spotlight Africa. Stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned. To conclude Spotlight Africa this afternoon, Cameroonian opposition leader Maurice Kamto is challenging his disqualification from October's presidential election, filing an appeal on Monday with the country's Constitutional Council. Recall that last week, Kamto, who was runner-up to incumbent Paul Biya in 2018, was barred from this year's election by Cameroon's electoral oversight body, ELECAM. ELECAM cited the fact that Madinem, the party Kamto represents, had already submitted a candidate for the 2025 vote. Kamto's supporters, however, are crying foul, pointing out that other parties are also running multiple candidates without pushback from ELECAM. Kamto is widely seen as the main challenger to 92-year-old President Biya, the world's oldest serving head of state, who has ruled Cameroon since 1982. Meanwhile, the United Nations Department of Safety and Security has warned that the exclusion of candidates could lead to public protest in the capital, Yaoundé. Back to Nigeria now, where the women's soccer team received a hero's welcome in Abuja on Monday after winning the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The Super Falcons' comeback 3-2 victory over host Morocco in Saturday's thrilling final was applauded by Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu and many in Nigeria, a soccer-loving nation where passion and hard work often triumph over institutional challenges. Tinubu hosted the triumphant national women's soccer team on Monday. The Super Falcons won their record-extending 10th Women's Africa Cup of Nations title after braving institutional challenges. The team had been owed match bonuses for years, once resulting in a training boycott in 2022, even as they triumphed on the way to the finals in Morocco. The backlog of payments was only approved by the president days before Saturday's final. They also could not hold competitive friendly matches, and their training kits were said to not have been available. It is a common problem in Nigeria where sporting competitions are often dogged by issues of underfunding, corruption, and mismanagement that have led to high-profile scandals resulting in athletes choosing to represent other countries in protest. The Nigerian women's team has exercised a near-total dominance in African soccer, which is partly credited to a head start in the women's game. Nigeria created the first soccer league for women in 1978, years before their counterparts on the continent. However, the gains have not catapulted the team to similar achievements on the global stage in what analysts say is a failure of the authorities to capitalize on this early advantage. The United States is suspending all routine visa service at its embassy in Niamey, Niger, until further notice. A State Department spokesperson, Marco Rubio, confirmed that the pause covers all immigrant and non-immigrant visa categories, citing concerns with the government of Niger. The visa freeze comes amid rising tensions. Recall that the United States military completed its withdrawal from Niger last September. The ruling junta ordered